has the national debt personally affected each of your lives? And if it hasn't, how can you honestly find a cure for the economic problems of the common people if you have no experience in what's ailing them?
Mr. President.
Well, I think the national debt affects everybody. Obviously, it has a lot to do with interest rates. It has.
She's saying you personally.
On a personal basis, how has it affected you?
Has it affected you personally?
Well, I'm sure it has. I love my grandchildren. I want to think that. I want to think that they're going to be able to afford an education.
Tell me how it's affected you again. You know people who lost their jobs and lost their homes? Well, I've been governor of a small state for 12 years. I'll tell you how it's affected me. Every year, Congress and the President sign laws that make us do more things and gives us less money to do it with. I see people in my state, middle-class people, their taxes have gone up in Washington and their services have gone down, while the wealthy have gotten tax cuts. I have seen what's happened in this last 4 years when, in my state, when people lose their jobs, there's a good chance I'll know them by their names. When a factory closes, I know the people who ran it.
Now, that performance in 1992 at a town hall format, let me try that again, town hall format, I can tell you a little piece of information you may not know. Both the Romney as well as the Obama campaigns have gone through that one because many believe that Clinton performance was the gold standard in any town hall forum. Forget the politics, forget what your political beliefs are. How he handled and related to the questioners they thought was by far the best that has been done since they've been doing this type of format. Now, this format, these town halls, can create memorably awkward moments as well. Remember the 2008 debate where Senator McCain seemed to kind of just wander aimlessly around the stage there? Or go back to 2000, where Al Gore, for some reason still unknown to me, decided to walk right up to Governor George Bush in a way that Governor Bush later referred to as getting his chili. And then we go back to the 92 move from George H.W. Bush, where he checked the time on his watch a couple times, and it basically gave the impression here, how much longer do I have to be here? Guys, you lose these things more than you win them here. I'll start with you. From a style standpoint, you would think it would favor the president more because it's relating to a person in the audience, not the face-to-face kind of conflict, which Romney seems to certainly excel at more than the president.
I actually turn that on its head. I think it favors Romney for exactly that reason, because expectation-wise, people don't expect him to perform
even
well
though
in
he
this
kicked
environment.
his butt the first time?
Because it was an over-performance. It was perceived as an over-performance. It's perceived as an anomaly. Look, even the spin on the D side is he had a great performance, not he's a great debater. So as a result, the expectations are still low for Romney.
The president
and the expectations
so badly,
for the
expectations
for the president
look like it was
because of the Hope campaign, because of the Change campaign. There was a connection that the president really used as part of his election effort.
For me,
so
the only place where I think there's
an
awkward moment is if a guy decides to completely ignore the question, then Crowley's got to come in and say, come on, answer the question. But the other place, and we've seen this happen, Joe, throughout the campaign, Mitt Romney's biggest missteps have been where he attempts to relate to the audience, where his life has no bearing whatsoever on theirs. Like when he says, hey, I was almost laid off before. Hey, we had a tough, Ann and I, we almost had to dip into our savings account. Or, when he makes attempts to try and have relatability, and everybody knows he doesn't understand what they're going through, that's where he gets in trouble. And I think this format kind of lends itself to that kind of potential pitfall for him.
Well, remember the convention, he related very well to the people, and his wife did as well.
No. Where he related excellent was in the 8 o'clock hour, where testimonials from people that talked about what a great guy he was in his life and did acts of charity and goodwill. We didn't get that from his address. I don't believe, and I think most people agree, he still didn't connect.
He's got a good package, he's got a good family, he's got a great wife, he's got a background where he had to be prepared at all times. Look at the difference between Obama, a community worker, a senator 2 years, and look at now, and you want to know why Obama didn't perform.
He wasn't prepared. Real quick,
he wasn't disciplined.
His people have spent 3 days alone. making sure he knows the cost of eggs, the cost of milk, the cost of bread, to make sure he doesn't make one of those silly mistakes, because if he does, it could cost Mr.
So
Romney
he won't
the
tell us
election.
tonight he likes to fire people. I guess that's what
No,
you're
he
saying.
won't.
All right,
He
we're going
won't.
to just do a quick break. When we come back, we're going to give the candidates some unsolicited advice. That's up next. Stay with us.